Hi, it's day 11, and today we're going to talk about the fork. Now, I don't know about you, but long before I held a pencil, I held a fork. Now, where does this fork come from? Well, I tried to look it up because, let's face it, back in the medieval days, people just ate with our hands. There were no forks. It wasn't until young Catherine de' Medici brought the fork to the royal courts of Europe that people started to use with a fork. The fork went from a little teeny thing with 2 prongs, then up to 4 prongs, and this is the utensil we see today. You know, it's funny that we're talking about forks today because Susan from Marietta, Georgia, sent me this little fork. Kind of cute, is it? This is actually called a diet fork, as there aren't too many of these around. I don't actually want you to run out and do this to your fork. You may hurt yourself. But I do want you to learn to think before you pick up your fork. You have to be in the right frame of mind for eating. Every time you eat, you have in front of you your plate of food, usually a napkin. You have a knife, a fork, and a spoon. This is how you eat. This is how you were taught to eat. Now, before you pick up the fork, I want to teach you how to put yourself in a mood for eating. I want you, and you make things as corny. Now, this works for me. I want you to count from 1 to 10 before you pick up the fork. I want you to get settled in your seat, get comfortable. I want you to look down at your plate. I want you to see the food you are going to eat. Think about the deal meal cards that you counted out for this meal. Look at the food groups you'll be eating in this meal. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then, I want you to pick up your fork. Now put food on a fork that is actually going to fit in your mouth. I see people eating out and they're shoving food into their mouths, and it's like we're going back to the Middle Ages. Cut the food till it fits onto your fork, and once you place the food on the fork, stick it in your mouth, and take the fork and put it down on your plate. And enjoy the food that's in your mouth. This is not the time you should be reaching over other people's plates or piling those food on your fork. This is the time you should be chewing the food and putting the fork down. Now, I chew my food 25 times before I swallow. You may find this funny or hard to believe, but it takes approximately 25 chews for the food to be the right size to go down your throat. Have you ever gulped something down and you feel like you have a big lump at the bottom of your stomach? Learn to chew your food into pieces that are easy to swallow. While you're eating, don't waste the stuff that the next fork will end. Enjoy the food in your mouth. Savor the flavors. When you finish with what's on your plate, put your fork down and let it stay down. Remember that we're learning portion control. There's an old saying that goes, we eat to live, not live to eat. Don't waste it for your meal. Make mealtime an enjoyable time. We can relax and really taste the food you're eating. Set aside enough time to sit down and eat without rushing. It doesn't have to be an hour. If you don't have it, but leave enough time to chew food slowly, swallow slowly, and relax. Let a fork work with you, not against you. It's a simple tool, just like your deal meal, to help you live a healthier life. So today we learned that the fork does not control you. You control the fork. You know when to pick it up. You learn when to put it down. And when you eat your next meal today, remember you have the power to control that fork and make it a positive thing in your life.